Shemai Shamu Pub,
I
Close Juice Gaming. Welcome back. It is, thanks for just talking all over me there, Duncan. That was lovely, mate. Professional, amazing.
Shemai, it's what I do. It's what I do.
Shut up, Willie, for God's sake, bloody no. Right, we're going to do it one more time. Are you ready for this? Right. Shemai Shamu, Croatia Dukes Gaming, welcome back. It is Monday Marvel. We are here to have a nice little podcast today. I've brought Duncan back. Yes, I know, I brought him back. Unfortunately, Lewis was busy. He's currently filming with John Cena in Hollywood, so he was unable to attend this morning. But we wish him all the very best.
Real shame.
Yeah, real shame.
Real shame.
He'll be sorely missed. Duncan was cheaper. Duncan actually paid me, which was lovely. So. Well, we had such good fun last time. I think it went really well. I really enjoyed it, and I think we had some very important things to say on the games that we were playing, and
the general state of the UK tournament scene.
Yeah, I think so. The reason I wanted to do it today, because I was going to actually do what Duncan's doing, and I was going to start building some of my Inhumans. But I just ran out of time to get stuff sorted out. So sadly, you'll just have to look at what are you building, Duncan?
I'm actually building Archangel.
Oh, nice,
and
man.
Then I'm moving on to some other robot-based characters for reasons that might become apparent later.
I'm looking forward to deep delving into your affiliation requirements. Okay, cool. So, what do I want to start off with? So, we had Lewis held his Swinfinity 3 yesterday, and I was shocked, horrified, and very saddened to see none of the aces could make it, which is a shame, real shame. First one of the Swinfinities that we couldn't attend, but you know, it happens. We had like a big week in Games Expo the week before. I was going to say something terrible, like roped into family things, but no, I volunteered for it. It's fun stuff that we did on the Sunday, so I wasn't able to make it this time. And I'll go into that later because I had a very funny interaction with Lewis yesterday. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Swinfinity, you were there, Duncan. How did you feel going in?
Yes. Confident. Very confident. I'd decided after Expo to take a very different spin on Midnight Suns. So one of the things I realised is that I was struggling with the points. So I thought, what's a good way to get points? Let's go wide.
You're saying
and let's
points,
just go super wide.
Do you mean the secure or the extract or both?
Both. So often the games I was killing enough, but I wasn't scoring enough.
Right.
So it's kind of always ahead on the attrition, but behind on the VPs. So what's the best way to overcome that? And my logic was drop all of the good characters, so like Blade, I-Hulk, Voodoo, Werewolf, Mummy, all of those kind of staple good characters, and just go as wide as possible.
So just to confirm, your logic was get rid of all the good ones. they're your words.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the good ones, and then just put in everything else that no one else plays.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Because you also then have a bit of that kind of gotcha aspect, isn't it? Where people, if they're not used to playing against a certain character, you have that kind of element of surprise where they go, "What does this character do?" And you go, "Oh, it's fine. It's just like 3-3-3. It's not going to do much." And then it's just, did I not mention it gets to move your character back long, and then all of that kind of jank, basically. So
you were refusing to explain what your characters did until it was too late.
Yeah.
You mean you don't know?
And you'd be pleased to know, like, I did try in as many games as possible as well to have them facing the wrong way.
Oh yeah, good. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't there, so it doesn't matter, does it? Okay. So I hear round one went well.
Round one, well, I mean, going into the event, I tested some games with Joe, and so it's going super wide. So there was Elsa in there as the 4, had Gwenpool as a 4 as a splash, and then it was all 3 threats.
Okay.
3s and 2s, basically. So there's no kind of big hitters. The test games against Joe, one of them was a 18-11 win, the other one was a 29 win. So
wow.
comfortable kind of, and I thought going into this is it. I've cracked it. I've absolutely fucking cracked it.
You're a hero.
This is mine.
You're a hobby hero.
Yeah. It's like I'm an off-meta tactical genius. Eat your heart out, Pat Dunford. And game 1 went well. Everything that needed to happen happened. I was playing a guy called Phil, who was running M'Baku Wakanda. He also went 6 wide.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm there thinking, I'm going to be the wide boy. And the first game, just as wide.
You had just
okay.
as wide.
So yeah, that was a little bit of a shock. The first couple of rounds, it was what happened. Round 1, I managed to daze M'Baku, just kind of drew him in with a pull, and just dazed him. So it kind of, there's a bit of back and forth, but the scoring is kind of 4-all. Round 2, M'Baku gets dazed. KO'd.
He's gone.
What was it? Okoye got dazed. His X-23 got dazed. My Shadowcat got dazed, but at that point, his leader's gone, a couple of his characters gone, and the score's like 9-5. So it's everything I kind of planned before was all kind of hitting into place. The next round, Hawkeye gets dazed, Killmonger on his gets dazed, my Shadowcat gets KO'd, and Okoye gets KO'd. But at this point, the score's 15-8.
Yeah,
there's nothing he can do at this point.
It's over.
Yeah. And then round 4, there was no characters getting dazed or kind of KO'd or anything, but the score ended up 21-10.
Okay, so pretty
decisive.
Pretty cut and shut there.
Yeah. So I was there thinking, okay, I've hit my target for today because I wanted to just get at least 1 win.
Hit my target.
So hit my target. I wanted to go 1-3. So that's a guaranteed. But there's a part of me that was kind of niggling at the back of the brain that's just going like, maybe you can do this. You know what I mean? Like,
you started to believe.
Maybe you are. Maybe you are that much of a genius. You know.
I love it. What's that saying? Pride comes before a fall. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Oh my God! Wasn't it a fall? Won the first game.
Yeah.
That was pretty comfortable. Second one, I was playing against a guy called Brett. He was running Spider Foes.
Yeah, so we can see here. So Brett, he on the right hand side, you can see the results of Swimfinity. So no spoilers, but Brett came in 5th with Spider Foes, which I want to delve into Brett's list for personal reasons later on. But yes, continue. Go on. Spider Foes.
He was running Doc Ock 2 as the leader, Rhino, Bullseye, Drac, and Lizard. Okay. It was an 18 threat. We're playing the Scientific Extract and Mutant Madmen for the Secure.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had a Black Panther 3 in there, and knowing Rhino only has 2 Mystic defense, I was there thinking I'm going to wait for him to go down, see where Rhino is, have some kind of counters for counters, that kind of stuff. So I felt pretty confident going into it. The first turn it was 4-2 to me. He just couldn't flip his back points on the pay to flips. There's no kind of dazes, KOs. It's all a little bit kind of cagey. And I'm there thinking, okay. I should mention this was the second game I'd lost priority. Okay. So I'm going against a 5-wide team this time. Yeah. But because I've lost priority, I'm still always going second.
Yeah.
We go into the second turn, and I just get some spikes. The dice are kind of doing what they need to do. So Rhino and Lizard gets dazed. My Toad got dazed, but I also managed to daze his leader with Doc Ock.
Yeah.
It was quite a good kind of swing turn, and end of turn 2, it's 10-6 to me on points. So it's within the grasp. There's kind of 8 to 9 points being scored a turn. So it's do you know what? I think I've got this. I think I am a genius. It might be a little too early to say, And that's where it all went wrong.
Yeah. Do you feel like you because of this positivity, this confidence you're getting, do you think you maybe changed how your style went, or did you go off the rules a little bit? No.
No. My opponent just had some spiky dice, and I failed all of my defenses, and all of my attacks failed. This was where everything turned for the day. So it went from kind of with MCP dice, you're looking at like if you're attacking around a 50% success, like 55 because of the crits. With defense, it's about 45. That's the kind of rough average. For me, I was rolling like 10 dice and getting 1 success. At which my opponent then goes, "Cool, I'm in cover," so I just auto save that. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I get Toad. I was going to say I get Toad KO'd, Elsa dazed, Black Cat dazed, and Black Panther 3 dazed. And the turn swings from 10-6 to 14-11 to him. So, massive swing. And with all of those dazes and KOs that I had, he still keeps priority.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It is the curse of going wide, man. It's crazy. It is crazy.
I mean, he was 5 wide, I'm 6 wide, and with all of those, you'd kind of think, and like both of us at the end were just like, yeah, how have you got priority? And we're playing out. So it's like, oh yeah, fuck, okay. And then next turn, like last turn, I did manage to KO Rhino, Iron Fist got KO'd, and Lizard got KO'd. But there's just a few little plays where it's like, just needed to kind of certain characters take others out to free up actions of others to then go sit on points or that kind of thing. So it ended 19-15 to him. So still scored high.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But just it was that point where the dice went. Nah.
They checked out.
So that was a little bit humbling, but you've got to have that. What's it called? It's not confidence, arrogance. That's the one. So I was kind of thinking, all right, 1-1, lost 1. I could maybe get an even result from the deck. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe a 3-1. And then we had what was possibly. I mean, I wrote very little notes for this game.
By this time, you were already wanting to cry.
Everything happened in the game that was just horrendous. So it's 20 threat, playing against a guy called Rids, who was running Scott X-Men, who also went 6 wide. So had priority. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, cool, so you're always going first. Cool, that's fine. It's fine.
This is Rids,
I like going second.
He came 6th in the tournament overall with his X-Men, I think. Is that the same Rids?
Yeah.
Rid Smith, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're facing off some of the higher finishing teams now, aren't you? So this is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was running Honey Badger X-23, Rogue, Colossus Gambit, and Cyclops.
So a very aggressive X-Men then. Very aggressive.
Yeah. It was the Inhuman Advanced Weapons for the Extracts and Wedding Party. So Wedding Party is going to be scoring like 2 VPs each one.
Yeah.
So it can ramp up quite quickly.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole game, he's almost apologising about how bad my dice are.
So let's just pause it there. Pause that for a second, right? And it'll be interesting to see what you guys think in the chat as well. When your opponent apologises to you, how does that come across? When you're rolling dice and somebody goes across the board and says, "Oh, sorry about that." How does that make you feel?
I mean, it didn't help as well that there's a lot of he was spiking a lot as well.
Yeah.
So to put it into context, Honey Badger, who's just 2 threat, 4 health, didn't have to use her healing factor once.
Oh.
It wasn't until I think turn 3 that she got dazed.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, once or twice a turn he was taunting.
Oh wow. Oh
yeah,
mate.
and I think she survived at the end of the game as well. I don't think she'd actually been taken out. It was horrendous. It was like 19-8 loss. But there's so many moments, like X-Men have some utter nonsense cards.
Yeah.
So like Rogue sitting on a flank with, I think, Gwenpool and Moon Knight. She's got Incinerate on her. She's got like 2 health. She's holding an extract, sitting on a point. It's also rooted.
Yeah.
So he just does Children of the Atom.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
nice.
So I'll remove 2 conditions, heal myself to gain 2 power, and now I've got enough to throw this size 4 at you. And you didn't get any saves, so that's Moon Knight taken off the board, and that's.
That is such an awesome card. I absolutely adore that.
It's bullshit.
Card.
It is bullshit. There was a moment I think he played. I think in the first turn, there's a moment Colossus sitting on the wedding party. He's holding an extract. I ended up doing a siege, just like I've got to take him down. Got to try and get ahead on these points.
Yeah.
And he does Saviour's Dream.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
Yeah. So you had that kind of stuff going on. My dice literally are just horrendous.
I mean,
there was honestly moments where it's like character double tapping, like double spender, and no damage.
Yeah.
On incinerated characters. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry, Duncan. I'm sorry.
So, I mean, at this point, I'm feeling a little bit low. The confidence has gone a little bit.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, what do? You have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to take yourself seriously. You have to realize you can do this. Sure, you're on a 1-2 now, but you can get that 2-2. You can hit even. You can break even. Like, this is only yours to fuck up now. And then I played game 4. So game 4 was against Glyn, who's like store manager there.
Mate,
he was running.
So he's running Midnight Suns all of a sudden, which is very funny.
Yeah.
I last played.
He's...
Go on, Goose.
Oh, God.
Walk us through it before I tell my terrible story about Glyn.
So he's playing Midnight Suns, and I actually win the priority. First game out of the day where I win the priority.
Nice.
So I'm thinking, all right, this is it. Yeah, I feel confident with this. Sure. I know Midnight Suns like the back of my hand. Yeah. He, I think, was the threat 19 threat. So he goes Blade, Werewolf, Mummy, Eye Hulk.
Yeah, standard.
Just goes super tall.
All those big characters that you got rid of. Those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up playing the Inhuman extract again, which I think was second time for the day, with the Macran secure. His 3 extracts and 3 secures were exactly the same as mine.
Ah, okay.
So winning that priority roll and just goes, oh, which one should we pick? Makes no difference.
So, but everything's stacked in your favour then. You've got priority. Yeah. You've got your extracts, and everything's there for you. You're playing against someone you know. Yeah. It should be fine, right?
Who knows the team less than I do?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, he's not in position with it. Yeah.
Glyn doesn't know anything anyway. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. So some plays happen, stuff happens. His Eye Hulk absolutely smashed Shadowcat.
Yeah, that's it. Rightly so.
I'll just try and hit her. So 7 dice, does 5 damage, not a single save. So she gets insta-dazed, was holding a point. Cool, that's fine.
It's a Hulk. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect maybe 1 defense dice. maybe 1. Maybe. So yeah, that ended. It meant the round ended 4-4. Going to the next turn, and Shadowcat gets KO'd. Man-Thing gets dazed. Black Cat gets dazed, and Iron Fist gets dazed. You'll notice that none of his team have been dazed.
Wow.
Like none of. Bear in mind, at this point, Hulk has Root and Incinerate. Werewolf has Incinerate. I think Blade had Incinerate as well. Okay. And Root. Everyone's got all the conditions on them from me. I've just stacked them.
You're playing your team as it should be played.
Yeah, doing what they do, and you'll notice that not one of his characters has been taken up.
Yeah.
But I managed to keep the scoring, keep the parry and stuff like that. So it's 8-8. We're going to the next turn, and he's keeping priority every turn because he's a taller team.
Yeah.
So I managed to finally Daze Blade, Daze Werewolf, Black Cat gets KO'd, just smashed off the board. And the score's like 13-10 to me. So we're going to like the last, like what should be last turn.
Yeah.
Like I've lost 2 characters. It's 4 wide each. He's still got priority. Like, what can go wrong?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What? Yeah.
Elsa gets dazed, Man-Thing gets KO'd, and Hawkeye gets dazed. So I've got 1 model to score me points. It ends 14-16 to him. There's moments in it where like did a siege turn. So Hulk these 3 energy defense. Incinerated, he's down to 2.
Yeah.
Iron Fist is 5 dice energy.
Yeah.
So double tap him and do a siege. Do 3 successes and do 1 damage.
Yeah.
On 15 dice. Elsa double taps for 10 dice. There's no hits. Man-Thing double taps Incinerated Werewolf. So 1 mystic, like 14 dice. Doesn't do the 5 damage needed to take him out. I have to use someone else to finish him off. And at that point you're just like,
yeah,
I hate this game. This game is bullshit.
Yeah,
I hate it.
But like it says the odds, isn't it? It is literally you are throwing dice at something that shouldn't be around. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So you're like tactically everything I feel was good that needed to be done. It's just the dice didn't back it up. So I ended up finishing then 1-3.
Yeah.
And me there with that kind of thing of being like, I'm confident with this list. Yeah. It's off meta. I'm going to prove them wrong. No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was fun. That was all of the fun.
That was fun. That was fun. Well,
yeah.
So once I understand that the guys in the chat now might be feeling quite low. So after that, so what we'll do, we have a quick look at the results. So let's because it couldn't have been that bad, Duncan. It couldn't be. There you go. Look, you were 15th. Look at that. Out of 17, because one guy dropped.
So 15 out of 18. But you'll notice that we had number 7, Big Charles. He dropped. And
2 drops. Ah, okay. So there you go. So it's
technically 15 out of 16.
There you go. See, it's not all that bad. But you finished above the Wakanda guy that you beat the first game. So there you go.
Yeah.
The one game you won, you finished above. So that's good news. That's good news.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was. I think it was one of those things where was it? So, well, no, I think it'd be 14th out of 16 after the drop. So not horrendous, but still sad enough to leave me as a sad panda, basically.
Understandable, man. I get it. It's hard. I mean, there's been many times. I know I've been in that position so many times where I've just gone, "What's the point? What is the absolute point?" But I suppose the little bit of niceness is that you started well. You know, you had that first game, boom, you went off. Here we go, you got your win, and you were happy. You wanted to win, you got one, which is good.
It's a bit like, have you seen the Animatrix thing they did ages ago?
Yeah.
There's one of the stories in that where they're talking about how the robots are there, and they keep referencing the thing. And for a time, it was good. That's basically where I was at yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, and for a time, it was good. No, deny.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it happened. You played. You were there. You supported. We're very proud of you, mate. Well done. Good job.
Thank you. You'll see where Joe, who I travelled up with.
Yeah. to Zacian, yeah?
Zaxian.
Or Zaxian.
Yeah, he was running New Mutants.
Yeah.
He had to do 2-2.
Yeah, but
really good, solid result.
We don't care about Joe, though. So we're going to move on to...
No. Also, you'll see the guy who won it at the top there.
Yeah.
Steve Cole. He was our taxi.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
he was running Avengers
Asgard.
Combo.
So we'll have a little look at his cheeky list and just... so... On the outset of things, these lists will tend to be fairly similar in a way. So if you're playing Avengers, you'll have certain things. If you're playing Thor, Asgard, you'll have certain things. What I'm more interested, I think, at this stage is looking at crisis choices, because I think that's. I think when it comes to, we're going to do a bit of meta stuff here, okay? So when it comes to actual list building can be pretty cut and shut currently. You're going to have a leader, you're going to have some sort of bodyguard, you're going to have some sort of big hitter, you're going to have maybe some sort of movement displacer or condition giver, that kind of thing. Is that fair to say, would you say, Dunk? You got a...
Generally, yes. That's not how I do it. I tend to just go...
We've seen how you do it. You just take all the good stuff out and put whatever else in.
Yeah. I want to get that clear. Yeah.
But on the outset, if you're looking at building an MCP team, because we've got our tournament coming up in a couple of weeks where we've got some brand new people coming in who have never done a tournament before. So just on the off side of things, if you're going to get ready for a tournament, you're going to pick an affiliation that you like the look of. You're going to have a lot of synergy within that list, so they're going to be affiliated, and you're going to have some sort of bruiser, some sort of guardian, sort of bodyguard dude. Maybe something to move stuff around if you can, or certainly put some conditions out, that kind of thing. What is...
Yes, I was going to say the other thing to kind of think about with the team is if you can pick the characters in affiliation, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
But often the team that you picked will be lacking certain options and abilities. So that's where your splashes come in.
Yes.
Some affiliations like Avengers, such a deep roster that all of the characters that you would want to splash in are already affiliated.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So, like your Shang-Chi's, your Hulks, Cables, stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then, if you can't patch the gaps with splashes, so often not everyone has access to like bodyguard characters.
Yep.
You'll then look at cards like Sacrifice, Heroes for Hire, stuff like that. So again, the Team Tactics cards can then help patch up further gaps.
Pun totally intended.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fair. I think they're very, very important points. Absolutely. I think you can possibly get away with a core set version of the universal cards, and then a little bit of your affiliation cards. That should be enough to get you through most games. As a basic entry level, sorry, we're not talking about top tier tournament winning lists at this stage. We're just talking about getting into tournament play. You don't necessarily have to go around hunting for specific cards just yet. Particularly if you're playing Avengers or Cabal, you've got such a really easy entry into tournament play with these guys because they've got some really cool stuff just straight out of the box.
The other thing probably worth noting is the restricted cards.
Yes.
I think all of the restricted cards now come in the new core set.
Yes.
The kind of like unaffiliated cards, generic ones which can be used by everyone. Often there's a lot of throwing in the game. There's a lot of kind of collisions, stuff like that. So brace is generally a staple in pretty much every team.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of teams like it's one of their 5 that's always in the roster.
Yeah.
So you have your 10 cards you can pick, but then you'll always have, like, you can take 5 cards into the game, and brace is generally always there. But I've noticed that there's a bit more of a, I mean, depending on who you're playing, a bit more of a reluctance for people to take brace.
Well, I think going off the tangent, so I wanted to talk about the crash, but we will talk about the cards very quickly. It's fine. It's fine. You take over, mate. It's fine. If you
so, I mean, for example, I had brace in my 10 yesterday, and I didn't run it once.
Because
and
I find that brace
there wasn't really any point where I felt I needed it either.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely given, because a brace will only work once. And if you're going
Yeah.
up against something that you know's got a lot of throws, you're only able to stop that throw once, and
Yeah.
you might be able to.
Which is handy.
Yeah, it can be clutch. It can be clutch, and actually knowing when to use that one veto, I suppose, to save someone who's scoring or to stop him displacing you, whatever. I do find that it depends on the list. I mean, if I get thrown around, I'd much rather have something that's got aggressive or aggression built into them, so they can just wander back if that's the case, or something like that. But yeah, brace is an interesting one. I don't see. I don't know. I think it's very dependent on who you're playing against. I take it.
Massively.
I take it because if you've got somebody, a team that doesn't have much physical defense, I can understand why brace would be really quite handy. But if you looked at this list in particular, you have top of the list brace for impact. You've got patch up.
Yeah.
You've got Avengers Assemble. You've got reserve members. You've got Second Wind, Chi Mastery, Recal, Battle Plan, Rainbow Bridge, Odin's Blessing. So these things are all I'm going to say 70-80% of those are in the core set. You then get Chi Mastery from Shang-Chi's box.
Shang-Chi box.
You get the Rainbow Bridge and Odin's Blessing from, I want to say, Mighty Thor. Did they reprint it in the Asgard box, or was it from?
Yeah, I think it's from the redone Asgard box.
Yeah, I think they might have reprinted it. And then when you look at the list itself, you've actually got Okoye and Gorgon in the character list who do the bodyguard element. So you've got a lot of
as well as Steve himself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a lot of universality because that's Captain America #1, isn't it? Not Captain America number 75.
Yeah. Yeah. So generally, most people would take Steve 1 over kind of Steve 3.
I always take Steve 3. I love Steve 3 to bits. That's probably why I did so bad at Avengers.
Well, there's a pretty gross play. I think Reese, the guy who came second overall, I think it was. He was running Avengers. He had a particularly gross thing with Gambit.
Okay.
Under Steve 3, because obviously you can add turn dice, make them into wilds.
Absolutely.
Which then compounds hits and defense and dodge.
Yeah.
And various other bits and pieces. So yeah, Gambit after his glow up is good.
Yeah.
But in the right team.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. Anything that allows you to change or modify your dice into specific things. It's fantastic, but absolutely because I used so Doc Ock was also the similar sort of thing in Avengers where his wilds count as doubles, but Gambit's just disgusting at the stage. But when we're looking, so we're going to look at crises specifically in this little segment is what I'd like to do because I think crises can make or break a team when you're looking at what you want to do to score. And I think that's the hardest part of learning how to play MCP because you get the what are they called? The sort of the A to B sort of thing of I'm going to move, I'm going to hit. This guy can do this to that one. This person can do that to that one. Whatever. But when you want to actually get on these points, what works best for who? And I'm just realizing now that I can't actually see the crises on like the maps on these things, so I don't know if Jarvis is going to be able to help us out a little bit.
Oh, maybe.
So if we let's flip over to Jarvis.
Hang on.
And let's have a look at some of these. We've got some map setups here. So you can see that when you choose a crisis, it relates to a specific map design. And the map designs can... they can... I'm trying to think of some words that I can't remember. My English language has removed itself from my brain. Benefit. There you go. So certain maps will benefit different affiliations. So, for example... my Spider Foes list that I've gone back to absolutely adores a D
Wedding
formation.
Party.
Oh, look at you with your little cards. What formation is Wedding Party?
Is that basically, I can't remember the exact map because they've stopped labelling them. But Wedding Party, it's one that people aren't massively keen on. Same thing as with Merfisk.
It's an R. I found it at the very bottom here. It's an R.
Just because there's very few actual physical points on the board for you to kind of take and hold, but those points are worth more VPs.
And it's a blue, isn't it? Wedding Party, or is it a red?
Yeah.
It's a blue. So
blues,
blue. Blues
yeah.
don't move. You've got to get your team onto 2 points, and you've got to sit there and you've got to be able to score. So as an example now, if you're looking at that, you want to have some sort of team that's very good at throwing, or displacing, pushing, getting the opponent's team off of those blues. The other thing you might be looking at is something that's got maybe a bit more. So, for example, can't be pushed. So, if you look at things like Colossus, I think can't be pushed.
Yeah. Yeah, he did that to me yesterday, the prick.
It's somebody in the chat there, Dix Hewitt, says blues can move. Yes, blues can move, but I think there's only 2 that can do that now in the game.
So
it's Witnesses and
both,
something else.
Both these ones, the Witnesses, Mayor Fisk, and Wedding Party.
So this one specifically can move as well. So yeah, it's that's an idea. That's what we're trying to talk about with these maps. Is that when you look at a map, understand what your team is going to do to influence that map. So yeah, Wedding Party is a really funky one, especially because it moves.
Generally, you're looking for taller teams with bigger characters.
Yeah,
because the bigger characters are going to be able to outmuscle the 2 threats, 3 threats.
Yeah.
It can help as a wider team because you're going to be activating last, or towards the end for most of it.
Yeah.
So you can then kind of mob the points. Like Hulk onto a point is going to be really good, but you could just stick Toad and Bullseye on the same point, and you're going to score it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think of point disposition, so going back again to the D map, which is that diamond, where we both have 1 in our sort of home territory, if you like, and then 2 on the center line. If you, example, put Hulk on your home territory 1, he's stuck there for the rest of the game, scoring 1 point, as an example. So you want to be able to have maybe a bit of a wider team, have your 2 threat or 3 threat sat on the back point, whereas the rest of your team go off and get the flanks or the away objective. And understanding how you build your team around that, and also how to defend against your opponent's team to do that, because they're going to want to do exactly the same thing.
It's a difficult one to try and master.
Yeah.
I mean, I struggle with Crisis all the time. Like picking the team, picking all of that kind of stuff, and I go, oh, what Crisis? And Joe will often say, you should take these ones, and I'll do the complete opposite, struggle with it, take his advice, and then still struggle with it.
I would never believe anything that comes out of Joe's mouth ever again.
Yeah. I bet there was one event he said, oh yeah, you should take Senators into your list. I was running A-Force, so I took it and got absolutely fucking pummeled. And he's like, why have you got Senators? It's like, you told me. It's like, oh, did I? Thanks, Joe. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, it's every time I see Senators in someone's list, I'm like, right, we're going to do the other colour. Sorry, we're not having it. Yeah. I'm not playing Senators. It's an awful, awful mission.
The other thing to look at with the Crisis, and it seems as if the new ones, the 4 kind of new extracts that they've included from War of Kings, are all pay-to-flips of some sort.
Yeah, and also benefit you for having reds as well. So having a red on a blue, it wants you to have one person scoring everything, if that makes any sense.
Some of them do, some of them don't. But the main thing is, unlike with a lot of the kind of non-War of King missions, everything is pay to flip. So you can spend that power to try and secure that point, and you can fail your dice rolls, as my opponent did game 2.
Yeah.
And just be down on points, and there's nothing that you can do. You're just kind of like, oh, well, that's fun. So I've got a phone going off in the background.
That's all right. I thought it went a bit metallic-y, your voice then. That's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something to kind of bear in mind. Certain teams do better at pay to flips than others, and you can have characters which work well on pay to flip. So Black Panther 3, also known as Black Panther Chosen of Bast, the kind of Midnight Suns affiliated guy, he has an ability that allows him to re-roll dice on pay to flips, including skulls.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. The issue is it costs a power.
Yeah.
So unless you're looking at doing it on turn 2, having not engaged with anyone, anything like that, you're not going to be able to go up to the point, flip it, re-roll those dice.
Yeah, so you've got to pay to interact with the point, and then you've also then got to pay to re-roll the dice if you need to. There is, what's the synergy? It's was it scientific samples and something else that allows you? So yeah, one of them allows you to re-roll a dice for free if you're already holding a red. I can't remember which blue that is. Is that?
Oh, which blue is that?
Is it? Is it?
That
It's not
is,
crystals.
it's not deadline.
I can't remember which one it is now. But one of these.
Oh no, it is
wonderful
crystal,
blues.
I think.
Is it crystals?
No, not crystal. I might be. Oh, which one is it? Oh, what's the
What on earth is it called? Is it Strike Team? No.
It might be samples, yeah.
Scientific samples. I'm sure it's. I
One
thought
of
it
them.
was. I thought
One
it was
of them.
17. Anyway, is it Guardian Save? Yes, Guardian Save Shi'ar Empress. So this one here specifically states if you are holding one or more extract objective tokens, you can reroll one dice when interacting with the blue. So you get that bast built in just by holding a red, and that's free to do so.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funky, but yeah, if you're not playing Guardians, then not the affiliation Guardians. Sorry.
I mean, it's one of those things that it can. The benefit, like picking the crisis, it really is kind of make or break.
Yeah.
In terms of how well your team's going to perform. Often the crisis selection is also kind of compounded by the threat level.
Yeah.
So you could have quite a kind of short crisis selection, so something like Marefisk or Wedding Party, teamed up with, like, say, a 16-17 threat mission.
Yeah.
At which point you know that you're probably only going to have about 4 wide at max. At like kind of 16-17, maybe 5. And your opponent is probably bringing a big, beefy boy.
Yes, yeah, you would imagine that on 2 blues. Because you might well have something like spiders linked up with it, so there might be 5 reds.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at a 7-point scoring turn, or, so you might want to try and go a little bit wider, or, there's and it depends on the affiliation you're playing as well, because some affiliations physically can't go that wide. When you take spider foes into consideration, the lowest they've got is a 3 threat, the highest they've got is a 5 threat. So there's not much you can play around with that, really. In fact, do they have a 5 threat?
Yeah.
They don't. What's the 5 threat spider foe?
What? Oh, foes?
There is one, is there? They're only 3s and 4s.
4,
Yeah, they're all 3s and 4s.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because Rhino's 4, isn't he?
Yeah, Rhino's a 4, but he plays like a 6. Alright. I love Rhino so much.
I hate him. Yeah, he's alright. I think now that robbery's been toned down, it's not as egregious.
Yeah, I was sad about that. I thought that was awesome. Robbery was brilliant. It's still really good, which is nice. You just got to pay a little bit more power, right? So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not been that much nerfed, but I've started playing, going back to my roots, because I've had a really bad time with MCP of late. I've just not been able to click properly in the competitive scene, and it's I had a Duncan moment. It wasn't fun. You get that stage, you're like, what's the point? I'm not enjoying this at all.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to my roots where I started, and that was Spider Foes. I'm a massive Spider-Man fan, and the best way to idolise my Spider-Man-ness is by playing all the baddies, right? It's brilliant. It's great fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
So it's interesting you say that about having the bad time and almost struggling to find your reason for playing.
Yep.
We've had quite a lot of, or not a lot, but there's been 1 or 2 in the community who've kind of dropped from the game.
Right.
I think part of that is the events we've been doing have just been the standard, like, challenger format.
Yeah.
Kind of events. There hasn't been any of the fun ones yet for this year, so we're going to be putting out some, like, fun different format style events.
Yeah.
And often, if you're only really playing at tournaments and your local play group isn't kind of there, you haven't really got anyone else to play with.
Yeah.
It becomes quite demoralising. And so after this Swindon event, one of the things I kind of realised is I'm not going to run anything that's even remotely competitive.
Good.
Like, not in the slightest.
Okay.
So, because often for me, I look at it and just, like with the Elsa thing, I think part of the massive kind of post-event depression was this is this is a list that could do something,
Yeah.
and then when it doesn't, because of dice, whatever it is, the feeling is just like, ugh.
It becomes a bit of a chore rather than a fun game then.
Yeah, because you're like, I should have won this if my dice hadn't diced out. This was like it. You're in that kind of position of just feeling like there was nothing you could do.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can fiddle with the dice. They're 8-sided dice. They're very hard to bake.
Not that you've tried, by the sense of things.
No. So like after this, I managed to get my 20 games in with Midnight Suns from this event, which is the main reason for kind of taking them. And going forward, I'm going to be. I was thinking about doing a mixture of Convocation and something else.
Yeah.
Because I thought no one's really playing Convocation locally and stuff like that. And instead, I've just decided I'm running pure Sentinels.
Oh, mate. That's so cool. I love playing Sentinels. It's wonderful. It's thematic. It's fun. You can't really play anything other than Sentinels because they just don't have any other.
And it's one of those things like you're not going into the game expecting to win.
No.
And like so for me, like my dice are like horrendous. On average, I'm getting 30% successes. Like I've tried other things like stacking conditions. Like Crims is a really good game. Crims Kingpin, if you don't want to roll dice playing MCP, it's a great affiliation.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and win. How's that sound?
Yeah. There's still a part of me that's just like, I would much rather go into something that's underpowered, underbaked, and not expect to win games, because then I'm playing for laughs. Solely for laughs.
And again,
like Longshanks rankings can get.
Well, that's the shot there with you doing your fingers up. You're stone cold. That's wicked. So feeding back into playing as baddies. I love playing as baddies because even if you lose, you're like, yeah, I'm a baddie. It's fine. It's fun. You know, it's supposed to happen. You beat up the Sinister Six.
It's narrative.
Great job.
It's narrative.
And we are narrative kings, Duncan. That's what. Mr. Oh, it's a 97% chance of winning to Texas here.
Yeah, I consider myself a hardcore narrative gamer.
Absolutely.
Always have.
Always face the deployment zone, people. That's how we narrative game. And yes, I can see Melliflores has said that the 2026 Sentinels are going to be lit, and they are going to be. I'm very excited for Nimrod specifically. I'm hopeful he's going to be like some sort of 5 or 6 threat leader, because that's what Sentinels need, right? Is more high-costed characters. That stops you getting anything else.
I think he's going to be minimum 6 threat.
He is a literal, like it's supposed to be an android god, isn't he? Nimrod. He's supposed to be incredible. This dude.
And I hope that they give him options to scale the threat.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, this is Nimrod, but he's forgot to charge his battery. So he's 50% Nimrod. That's a 6 threat.
Okay.
Or Nimrod who's fully charged his battery, and you get 7 threat Nimrod.
So we're talking like a stone aspect, sort of a Thanos style threat level. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because Sentinels, it's hard to scale the list.
Because you got 5s or 4s, right? Because Cassandra, she's 5? No,
there's only 4 in there. So you've got Prime, Cassandra, and then the 2 Mark 4s.
So the Prime and Cassandra Nova are both 5s, and you've got 2 4s.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then you've got your card, you've got your nanobots, so you can, you can Borg
you can turn someone into a Sentinel. Yeah.
You know, resistance is futile.
Which could be good.
Yeah.
They've also got, was it the Omega Prime coming out as well?
Yeah. And who was the dude? He was in the X-Men 97 show. I can't remember what his name is. Bastion. I'm not familiar with Bastion until I saw 97. So that was pretty funky. I thought Bastion was quite cool. Maybe there might be some more nanobot shenanigans that Bastion's going to bring with him in his box, perhaps. I hope, which would be quite fun.
I think, if I remember correctly, there's something about having like Billy Basic kind of Sentinels. So you know how like in X-Men 97 they basically turn humans and generic people into kind of weird super robots.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have something kind of like that.
Are we talking
just
grunts?
So that you have this kind of. Yeah, not quite a grunt, but maybe like a 2-threat, 3-threat sentinel character, just so you can still stay affiliated.
Introducing
with these
Aunt May, the Sentinel.
I mean, for me, considering how my dice have gone in recent events, because it's a similar thing at Expo, I'd probably have Uncle Ben the Sentinel.
Oh my god. With great dice numbers comes terrible dice rolls. Oh man, yeah. So Swimfinity, it went very well for a few people. It didn't go very well for some others. But all in all, looking at the pictures, I think Lewis, you've upped your table games, looking fantastic, mate, as always.
One thing I will say about the tables is there's 2 tables Lewis has that I'm not a massive fan of. One of which is this fun ground one, this fairground.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. Is it on here somewhere? No,
not that one.
No,
not that one.
No, maybe I don't have a picture of it. He's refused to send a picture of it. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, there it is. There it is. I found it. There it is. Bam.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's the one.
There it is.
Look, there's my characters playing on that board.
Oh, they're still alive.
Yeah, I'm just not a massive fan of the scenery, especially like you've got this big building right at the back.
Yeah.
And it's got this weird, awkward roof. So after game 1, the roof got taken off, and it's way more playable.
Okay.
So after my game.
Yeah.
They went, oh, let's. So I ended up playing that on game 1, and they've got this other one, which is like this stack-a-brack, like city thing.
The industrial one, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. And it's just kind of slightly awkward size buildings.
It's the size 5.
Massive size 5.
Yeah. Sorry about the scrolling, people. I'm just gonna try and find it. Yeah. This is the one, I think. Oh no, it's the construction.
No. That one's construction. Yeah, that one's decent.
It's the sci-fi one, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's one of those boards that you're kind of deploying, just going, where's the model? What's what?
Yeah. I suppose it's a placement on the placement of where the scenery goes. I suppose maybe I don't know.
Yeah. So it's one of those things you have to really have a chat beforehand with your opponent about how you're going to run the scenery.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things I put into every tournament that we run, regardless of game system. The big part of the beginning speech is please talk to your opponent before you roll your dice. It's all about intent. It's all about understanding. So if you start running around, and for example in MCP you go, right, I'm going to throw this at you, and your opponent goes, well, you can only throw size 2. That's a size 3. No, it's a size 2. And you've not had that conversation, and your entire placement's all off, and it just creates unnecessary violence. I mean, issues. So.
Well, Joe had that at Expo, didn't he? They'd discussed the train with the guy beforehand on the Friday.
Yeah.
Went up with cable, went to pick up the train, and the guy changed his mind on the size of it. And the train at Expo, very little of it had any writing on it.
Yeah.
And the one that this guy had, Joe had tried to pick up the throw, originally discussed as a 3. They picked it up, and there was a 4 written on the bottom of it, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, bother.
Yeah.
So Spike just said in the chat now, that's why it's got numbers on it, right? So yes, in Swimfinity, and I'm sure it's the same with yours at Bristol Mix. I've still not been to one of your events. And it's the same in Pontypool. All the stuff has got numbers on because it's really important to understand. Without that conversation, if you for some reason don't want to speak to John, I completely understand why. You might want to just look at the numbers and just do that instead. And as Fuzz rightly says, the official terrain from AMG has the numbers on. Not all the time, but 99% of the time they've got numbers on. But yeah, I think that's...
So the only issue with the AMG terrain is, bless them, other than the kind of core set stuff, it's not hugely playable.
As in...
So it's more form over function.
Okay.
So like the Wakanda train looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. But I think other than the little car, you can't stand on anything.
Yeah. You can't gain the height advantage.
No, you can't get that. You've got lots of kind of weird size ones with the trees, and then the size of them, like the lampposts, you're not getting cover because of how wide like the scenery is. There's various other kind of bits and pieces, and or you get the opposite where it's like the Asgard, huge, massive bits of terrain, but you can't actually place the models on all of it, only on parts of it.
And you can't overlap it on the terrain.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. So it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But the playability of it isn't great. Other than the core set stuff, like the buildings, cars.
If you're playing city fights, you're flying.
Yeah.
But if you want to start theming it, I was talking to somebody about this the other day about the Sanctum. So the Sanctum is an amazing piece of scenery, and when you put it on a table, it looks amazing. But then when you think of it in a comic book setting, it's part of a terrace, and you can't have terrace housing in MCP because you've got to have a range 2 in between every single bit of scenery. So it's like, oh, well, that's pain. Now it's just a random building in the middle of a, just think. But
you also have the issue with the Sanctum, and it's something I'm trying to mod with my one, is the fact that it doesn't, because of the kind of the foot space on the roof.
Yeah.
It's smaller than the footprint of the building, and the way how the scene, like the train is. Technically, you can place off that square roof bit.
Yeah.
And like balance on the edge, and you're still size 5, even though it's physically. So like if you're trying to place objectives, do various other bits and pieces. I've had it before where people go, "Oh, you can't push me off this. It's got a railing." But you have to imagine that it's flat. It's flat.
It's a 2D game, baby.
Yeah. Honestly, I do think there's a point where I want to try the game with literally just bits of cardboard.
That'd be interesting.
And just lay those out on the table.
I think it would probably make it look terrible, but
it would look terrible.
It's a good training mission, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, speaking of training missions, I'm just going to go back and say this again. I really want a danger room map. I've got to get a danger room map. It's just, I was so impressed with it at Expo. I really want a danger room map. That's what I wanted to say.
They didn't release it, did they? Or did they?
No. So
I remember seeing some previews for it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got some like Wakanda maps and various other bits coming out."
Yeah. So I think the X-Men Danger Room map must be a print, which is perfectly acceptable. And then I've seen the 3D prints of the arms and the turrets and stuff on Etsy or whatever it is. So and I finally found a way to use my Professor X model. And that's as a piece of scenery. I'm very happy about that.
I mean, Xavier's not too bad. He's not too bad.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he gets to glow up alongside Magneto. We'll see.
I mean, let's put it this way: an affiliation like Sentinels would welcome a Professor X style leader.
So we found someone to infect with nanites all of a sudden. It's Professor Xavier. I love it.
I mean, that's fairly thematic, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I suppose so. Sadly, my lovable friends, we are coming to the end of our hour's little chat with Duncan. So we're going to have to say goodbye very soon. The only thing I will say is that according to Asmodee, Phoenix should be out this week. Supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. I've not had anything come through yet.
I don't think there's been any delays reported. So
no.
I think it's looking.
As soon as the invoice drops, though, which should be in the next half an hour, I would have hoped, I will let you guys know, and Phoenix will be on the way. And I'm very excited for her. She looks so very pretty. Anybody that was here on Friday, watching the Waffle on Friday morning, will know how much excitement there is in Dukes for a bit of Phoenix action. But,
have you done any test games with her yet?
No, so this is something that I haven't done in the store at all, is using the what AMG call it? The what's the little the transmissions. I haven't used the transmissions for testing any of the new stuff. We've never have, and that's something we need to get on with, I think, because it's a really good opportunity to look at these things in real life. We do a lot of stuff on paper and go through it and go, this would be cool if this did this did that. That works well. But yeah, I think we'll start moving into that, playing Phoenix stuff, because she's affiliated as X-Men, right? There's no other affiliation for she's not Brotherhood or
I think just X-Men.
I didn't know if she's going to make it into the
might be Hellfire Club, just because why not?
I thought she might make it into Hellfire, but I don't know if that's just an X-Men 92 thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, because technically Phoenix, not Dark Phoenix as well. So.
Yeah, which would be cool if there's a card to make a Dark Phoenix. That would be wicked.
Yeah.
In fact, there you go, John. There's an option for you. Instead of painting all that yellow, just paint it as Dark Phoenix instead, mate. You'll enjoy that one. Much, much easier.
Just spray it black. Done.
Yep. Dry brush it if you fancy it. There you go.
Too much effort.
Too much like hard work. There you go. Stuff it. Keep it grey. There you go. Jean Grey.
So your event is this weekend?
So Pontypool is next weekend. Isn't it? Is it next weekend?
This weekend.
It is this weekend.
14th?
Oh God! It's next. I thought another week. Yeah. So it is this week. Yeah. So we've got Marvel Crisis Pontypool. We've got quite a showing up at this stage. It's really quite fun. We've got quite a few tables coming in, which I'm very excited about. We've got a lovely showing from. I think we've got a few from Bristol coming, which is very exciting from your neck of the woods, Duncan. We've got a couple of Swindonians come in. We've got a great show. We've got some of the Swansea boys coming back to us. And all the locals are due to come in for it as well, I believe. So we've definitely reached the double figure mark, which I'm always very grateful for. So we might be on 6 tables, possibly. We're only a small event. We're not as big as Swinfinity. I think you go quite big as well, didn't you, Duncan, with your Bristol ones? You get to quite a few tables.
Ranges from like 16 to 22, depending on people's availability and stuff.
Of course. So if we ever get to the 16 sort of stage, I'd be incredibly blessed to have you all. And there is strong rumours I may well be able to play in it as well. So we'll see how we get on. But there we are.
With Sentinels?
No, with Spider Foes, baby.
So what are you thinking very quickly then? Because I know we're out of time. But run me through what you're thinking.
I'm essentially going fully affiliated with maybe 1 or 2 splashes. That's it. Just because I think Spider Foes have got some really good strength in what they can do if you get the right crises, which is what I was trying to talk about earlier, but never mind. We'll do it another day. So I think you can control an awful lot with your crises, and you've got a strength of roster that can flip if you don't get your own crises. So, essentially what I really want to get is something like Spiders with a D formation, the diamond formation. And that's going to be Mysterio, it's going to be Electro, it's going to be possibly even Green Goblin might be even making the table.
Nice.
All of it's led by Doc Ock 2 because his Sinister Six affiliation is banging, and Rhino is just incredible in any of those lists. He's just so much fun, so much fun. It's like and Lizard possibly. I've been playing with Lizard and Craven either or. But I've actually made a break for Mysterio's come back into the list for a little bit. He's had a great time. Sandman, absolutely adoring Sandman at the minute. Electro is just on fire. I can't get over how awesome Electro is. But Doc Ock's meh. He's okay. I think he's better than Goblin as a character sheet. Certainly better affiliation. Oh, and that's the other thing. Yes, Carnage has made a return to my Spider-Foe list. Because I just love Carnage when he goes off. We talked about it last time, Duncan, if you remember. We were talking about Carnage and the gambling with Carnage, and I was like, do you know what? Let's give him a run for his money. Let's get him out there.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Look out, all you silly people who have little to no physical defense, because Carnage is coming. If you have electrical attacks, though, he's not coming.
Yeah. Or Mystic.
Yeah, well, he's a lunatic. Yeah. I don't mind him doing that. So yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh, amazing.
But right, we are out of time. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed it, please let us know. It's always nice to hear back from you guys. And if we can steal Duncan and Lewis away for another Monday live one, we bloody well will, because I really enjoy my little Monday Marvels at the minute. And
nice.
Yeah, anything else to add before we disappear into the great white world?
We've got our Bristol event, Saturday, 5th of July. There's still tickets available, all of that kind of gubbins. Yeah. Details are on Facebook, Longshanks.
We'll put it in
Discord.
We'll put it in our Discord, your Discord. We'll put it in the link in the YouTube upload that we'll do for this. Make sure that there is no reason why you cannot attend either Swindon, Pontypool, Bristol, Gloucester, maybe. If he ever decides to share any information with that, that's fine. But
the only other thing I'll probably say quickly is we've then got events in September, November for Bristol, and they're going to be fun events. So the September is currently looking like street level negotiations, so that you can't take any 5+ threats. But then it's also going to be used in the War of Kings crisis, where you've got like the kind of guide to say how the secure and extract should be paired. Obviously, there's 5 of them, so we won't run on 5, but we're going to run 4 kind of predetermined crisis throughout the day, and you can't have anything more than a 4 threat in the list.
Well, we look forward to seeing that. Maybe get the pack out for that when you get a chance. We can maybe go through that on another stream and have a little chat about that. It would be quite fun. Oh, look at us planning for the future. We're professional streamers, Bet. Look at that.
Right. I mean, I'm professional. I mean, I've worn my adult nappy, so I don't have to go to the toilet during the stream. So, the question is, did I use it?
Tune in to find out next week. And one lucky subscriber can win it. All right, okay. Right, very much. Thank you for coming in, Duncan. Well done, mate. Thank you for Lewis for letting us use your photos, which he didn't give us permission to use the photos. I just did it. So whatever, Lewis. I look forward to seeing your cease and desist later on. And we'll see you all very soon. We're back tomorrow. We've got some Blood Bowl painting on tomorrow, but otherwise, thank you, Duncan. Hwyl fawr for now, pawb.
Pleasure.
Diolch yn fawr. Hwyl!